General Hospital shocker. Scout attacks Willow. Drew's scheme backfires badly. The calm morning at the Quartermain mansion is shattered when a family brunch turns sour. Willow sits at the table with Michael, trying to keep the peace while Drew delivers a passionate monologue about the future of Yelku. But Scout, now a teenager with a growing sense of justice and fierce protectiveness over her father, glares at Willow from across the room. Scout has spent weeks overhearing bits of information and misinterpreting whispers. In her eyes, Willow is part of the force that hurt her father, someone who stood by Michael while Drew was left out in the cold during the company's merger drama. As Drew finishes speaking, Scout abruptly stands up and confronts Willow in front of the whole family. "You knew what Michael was doing, and you didn't stop him," she yells. Everyone is stunned. Willow, caught off guard, tries to explain, but Scout slaps her across the face in a fit of teenage rage and pain. Silence falls. Brooklyn rushes to separate them. Olivia gasps, Monica looks heartbroken, and Michael steps in, demanding that Scout apologize. Drew is torn, angry at his daughter's behavior, but unable to ignore her pain. Willow quietly excuses herself, fighting back tears. Meanwhile, Drew's risky plan to outmaneuver Valentine and take full control of Yelku without hurting Ned spirals into chaos. Drew had set up a secret deal with a foreign investor, someone promising vast capital in exchange for temporary control of a few divisions. Despite Carly warning him that it sounded too good to be true, Drew was convinced this move would finally cement his power and prove to Scout he was a winner. But the moment the paperwork is finalized, the investor begins gutting the assets. Brooklyn discovers that crucial Yelku patents are being sold off. Ned confronts Drew. "You've compromised the company we built." Drew tries to fix it, only to learn that the investor is using shell companies to strip Yelku bare. Valentine, watching from the sidelines, smiles coldly. "You made a rookie mistake, Drew. You trusted someone who saw your desperation." Drew realizes too late. He has not only lost Scout's respect, but has endangered the family legacy. Scout retreats to her room, deeply conflicted. She didn't expect to hit Willow. She's not like that. But her emotions overwhelmed her. Sam arrives after being called by Monica. "You have every right to be angry," Sam says gently, "but hurting people isn't the answer." Drew knocks and enters, tearful. "I didn't want to let you down," he tells his daughter. Scout, softening, finally hugs him but whispers, "You did." Meanwhile, Willow refuses to speak to Michael. "Your sister hates me, your father blames me, and you stood by while it happened," she says. Michael tries to defend himself, but realizes how much pain his divided loyalties have caused. Willow goes to Carly for advice. Carly urges her to stand her ground. "You're not the villain here. Scout's a kid in pain. But you don't have to take the blame for all of Drew's failures." Later, Willow visits Scout and gently says, "I'm not perfect, and maybe I didn't speak up when I should have. But I'm not your enemy." Scout, now more composed, nods. "I'm sorry," she mumbles. Tensions between Michael and Drew reach a boiling point at the Metro Court. Michael confronts Drew over his reckless deal and how it's affecting their family. Drew fires back. "You pushed me out. You made me feel like I didn't matter." The confrontation escalates until Drew throws a punch. Michael dodges, but the scene draws a crowd. Nina witnesses it and pulls Michael aside, quietly reminding him how family wars destroyed her life with Willow and Wiley. Michael later visits Willow and admits he's been wrong on many levels. "I can't fix the past," he says, "but I can fight for us now." Willow says softly, "Then start by protecting your son from this madness." In the midst of the Yelku disaster, Carly steps in. She arranges a sit-down with Ned and Olivia, urging them to consider taking temporary stewardship of the company to stabilize it. "We need people who care about the Quartermain name, not just profit." Sam, meanwhile, makes a quiet confession to Dante. She had known Drew's plan was faulty, but didn't speak up because she wanted him to succeed so badly. "Maybe I was trying to be supportive, or maybe I was just afraid." Dante reassures her, but the guilt lingers. Sam and Drew share an emotional scene where she apologizes for not being more honest. "I let you run straight into disaster," Drew says bitterly, And now Scout has to clean up after both of us. At school, Scout is unusually quiet. Her best friend, Georgie, notices something is off. You slapped someone? Georgie says, shocked. Scout admits it, ashamed. But she adds, I felt invisible. No one was listening. Her teacher assigns an essay, A Time I Spoke the Wrong Way. Scout writes about the slap, her fear, and her desire to be heard. Monica reads it later and is moved to tears. You're braver than most adults, she tells her. Scout visits Willow again, this time with a handwritten letter. I know sorry isn't enough. I hope someday you'll trust me again. Willow hugs her. We're family. That means we grow through the pain. Thanks to Carly and Ned's negotiations, the Yelku investor is pressured into pulling out, but the company is left scarred. Drew offers his resignation, but Ned surprisingly tells him to stay. You made a mess, but you're still family. Willow returns to work at the hospital, trying to focus on her patients. She tells Sasha, the people I care about are all fighting their own wars. I can't carry them anymore. Sasha encourages her to think about what she needs. Peace. Michael starts seeing a therapist to deal with his anger and control issues. In a vulnerable session, he admits, I wanted to fix things by controlling everyone, but I ended up pushing Willow away. In a hopeful twist, Scout's birthday arrives. Sam wants to keep it low-key, but Olivia insists the family come together. The mansion is decorated, and despite all the tension, everyone shows up. Scout blows out her candles with Drew beside her. Willow watches from across the room, and Scout walks over, handing her a slice of cake. Thanks for coming. Michael apologizes again in front of everyone, and Drew finally shakes his hand. Let's stop making Scout choose between us. Carly and Nina even share a tense but respectful nod, and Sunny, who's remained on the outskirts of this saga, sends a gift for Scout with a note. Strong girls grow into strong women. Later that night, Willow tucks Wiley in and watches Amelia sleep. Michael walks in. You were amazing today, he says. Willow smiles faintly. We all have to grow up sometime, even the grown-ups. Meanwhile, Drew and Scout sit on the porch, looking at the stars. You still mad at me? He asks. A little, Scout says honestly. But I still love you, and I want you to try again. Drew nods, his eyes filled with emotion. Then I will. For you. As the night winds down, Port Charles finally breathes again. Families wounded but healing, futures uncertain but hopeful.